In the past hour, Air Force One took off from Beijing. Donald Trump wrapping up his visit after a major summit earlier with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. This week, Trump became the first U.S. president to visit China in nearly a decade. So the high-stakes summit was closely watched, and while it was heavy on public praise and pleasantries, there were no major announcements on points of contention like trade, Taiwan, or the war in Iran. Nonetheless, here's how the U.S. president described his visit before leaving.
This has been an incredible visit. I think a lot of good has come of it. We've made some fantastic trade deals, great for both countries. He's a man I respect greatly, become really a friend. We've known each other now 11 years, almost 12 years. That's a long time. And we've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle.
Well, joining me from our international affairs desk is Matthew Mary Carriche. Hello to you, Matthew Mary.
Hello.
Donald Trump calls it fantastic trade deals. Just what is he talking about in terms of these deals?
Well, no one really knows right now. I mean, he's very happy, but there's no specifics, as you said. We don't really know what's going on yet. The one thing we do know is specific, that he says that China has agreed to buy 200 Boeing airplanes. And this seems like a big deal because China hasn't bought Boeing jets in a decade or any other American manufacturer. But analysts expected there to be more planes bought, so Boeing stock actually went down. And in every other trade deal we see Trump saying, oh, it's a major thing, major changes on soybeans, major changes on anything else. But we really have no idea what's going on. And Trump sees himself as a major deal maker, and he's really hoping that he can claim victories from the summit in order to shore up his flagging approval ratings and ahead of midterms, where Republicans are really worried about holding on to the Senate and the
House. Yep.
But it's really unclear if anything is happening, and even if anything did happen, it's unclear whether that would even continue on. There was a trade war in his first administration, and he went to China and he had big deals. And at the end of his term in 2020, there was a deal where China agreed to buy $200 billion of American goods, but that never actually happened. In the 2-year span that they agreed to, they only bought about half of that, and after that, the trade deficit actually increased, and China was buying less than it had been before the trade war that Trump had started.
All right, so we have to wait and see if anything does materialize out of this visit. What about from China's perspective? Does Xi Jinping get what he was looking for?
Well, Xi only has one thing on his mind, and that's Taiwan. In 1949, when the Communist Party took control of China, they were unable to extend their control into Taiwan. And for the Communist Party, that is big unfinished business. And Xi wants this so-called reunification to be his legacy. Now, of course, Taiwan sees itself as de facto independent, and the U.S. has been supporting this tacitly. But officially, the U.S. sees Taiwan as part of China and does not support its independence. And Xi wants the U.S. to change that language from does not support to opposes. Now, under any other American administration, this would seem like it would never happen. But Trump is a wild card, and he's facing his own legacy, which is highly tied into the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran. And Trump thought this would be over. Every other week he says, this is going to be over very soon. It's wrapped up, but it's interminable. And the more the Hormuz Strait is closed, the higher gas prices are in the U.S., and American voters are really motivated by gas prices. So people are worried that if he can get China to throw its weight behind Iran and behind the Iran war and to open up the Strait of Hormuz, which China said it's open to doing, but still no details about what China is actually going to change, that Taiwan will end up just walking away from, Trump will end up walking away from Taiwan.
Yeah, there's also concerns about the way Trump sees sovereignty after Greenland and all of this, what we've seen with Venezuela, now perhaps Cuba down the road. Matthew, thank you very much. Matthew Mary Carriche from our International Affairs Desk.